Train yard review. Hello YouTube, I am back with my next train yard review. So, without haste, let's get started. So, today on the reviewing platform, we are going to be looking at the breakdown train. The breakdown train is a very popular Thomas Wynn Railway item, coming in and out of continuation. Alright, so the one on the left here is in 1996, one of the earlier years of its design. And then the other one is sometime, can't read these wheels because accidentally shaving cream, but sometime in 2000, probably 2001 to 2005, so to speak, sometime in there. So let's discuss this model. Personally, the look of it is amazing. I like to personally put Catherine here in between in the two breakdown cars to make it look more like it did in the TV series and Railway series, with the car in between it. The nice look of that here. Earlier models, I believe personally that you see this green here, that was the prominent color in the model. Here, I'll zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about. That green in there, I believe that was the prominent color. You see those chips? Now, I believe in 1996, when they decided to change the color to match it more realistic to the TV and Railway series, they just painted over top models that were already finished and sold them like this, putting an undercoat. Now, moving on to the slightly newer model that wouldn't have had that treatment done. You can see some chips on the corners, and it doesn't have those same green marks. It's actually showing up green on the camera, but it's not in real life. Weird. But anyways, that's basically the more happy part of the review. The next part is actual performance. So, let's say a train came in to the yard and derailed, such as that. It'll give you a better view on this. And then the breakdown train had to perform and lift the engine back onto the tracks. So I simply hooked the old 1996 version on, attempt to turn it. At least that one I have is very, very hard to turn. Got this one off eBay, so it might not be the best quality. Then we try to lift the engine up. Oh wait! The magnet doesn't do anything. Just pops right off. Boom, boom, boom. No attempt, not even a budge from Edward. Oh, got a budge that time, but it almost never works. And then take a good look at this magnet there and look at the size. Then moving on to the slightly newer version, I take it, I put it over here, then I attempt, you hook it on to Edward, like so, and then you lift Edward. Then you have to kind of guide him back onto the line. Perfect work. But one bad thing I found about this, for means of lifting him up, when you're trying to lift him up, if both of his wheels were derailed, it would be hard to have him up high enough to get both wheels back onto the track like this, as you can see here. The string's just not long enough and high enough, and it's awkward if you were too high. But then comparing the new model and the old model here, you can see the new model has a much longer string, which means you can reach longer this way, but for lifting up and putting it back on the track, it's a little harder. And let's say the old model, trying to put Edward back on the track, let's say the magnet did work, hypothetically, and put him back onto the track. You could actually lift him up high enough that both his wheels would be off the track and place him on. But you can't do that because A, this can't turn easy enough, and this magnet's not strong. And let's say somehow your magnet did work. Just watch this. See this? it's up, magnet's on, then it just pulls it down. This thing is so flimsy that it will just go up and down. It will not pull the engine. Even if it did work, it just goes down. The new model has improved this greatly, as seen here. Now, these models have all good and bad features on both of them. The new model has maybe triple the size of the magnet as the old one, but the new model has a way too high of a string here. And I believe a combination of these two models would be the perfect fit. But unfortunately, even the new version didn't get that right. However, they did nail one crane in particular that is on wheels, with some of the key features that these two lack. So let's get these trucks out of here for a second. Let's just pull these out and move in the crane that they actually did nail. Rocky. It's a combination of high and long arm for easy flexibility to reaching over the track, and a nice short string. Let's uncouple the breakdown train. Put it over here. Zoom out a bit. And let's see how Rocky would handle Edward if he were to derail off the tracks like this. Move Rocky into the right position and bang, it snatches up right away. It has nice rhythm too, and then you can easily do that. But let's say what would happen to Edward if it was a more serious accident, such as this. Rocky could easily snatch him like that, lift him all the way up, move him onto the rails. You can guide his back wheels in, then Rocky can easily lower him back down onto the tracks, as so. One thing about Rocky that is bad is swiveling. Can't swivel him any further on this than this side, so it makes it trickier for pickups. And you can't swivel him any further than this on this side. So therefore, they haven't mastered the crane yet. Although, if you were to remove several parts from Rocky, allowing him to swivel the full way, it would make it a lot better of an item and work much better. One last thing I wanted to add is the flatbeds. I never paid much attention to them as a kid. I always used them with the brake van, but I would almost never use them for anything else. Because, let's say you picked up a troublesome truck successfully, which is almost impossible with this old version, and put it on the flatbed. You can barely get it to balance. And then one time, if you actually happen to get it to balance here, which I've only ever done with a thin-wheeled car, which I don't think I will. Oh, you see the difficulty of balancing. But let's say you get it to balance slightly, it will fall off at the mere stutter, possibly even derailing a nearby train, making the accident worse. So that's my opinion on the breakdown train. Overall, it is a good buy. They are commonly found on eBay, and the new version's there too. The new version looks more plasticky and just altogether not as genuine as the old version. But I highly suggest it.